Alright folks, how are we? I am Shipwreck Sean, and this is episode 43 of my Sailwind series. In the last episode, we sailed from Spoiler Island, and when I was reading the comments, I discovered that I may have missed something over at Spoiler Island. So if you haven't picked it up already, we're going to go back to Spoiler Island today to pick up what I left, because I will never get it out my head otherwise. We have a bit of a shopping list now, so it's that. We do need to get the golden mug, as I keep saying, at Astra, the church. What's it called? Astra Chapel. And we also need to get the lanterns from Firefly Grotto. So what I'm going to do is a little surprise. We've got some money. We might be spending a wee bit of it. I'm going to see if I can sail this COG. We can't see it right now actually because it's quite dark. But I think I'm going to sail the COG over to this secret island. Now, I'm going to stop calling it the secret island and start calling it by name from this point on. So if you want to avoid spoilers like the last episode, I suggest closing the video, going and sailing there yourself, and then coming back and following along with me. But we're going to go to, I'm going to say it now, that's your last warning. We're going to go to Bone Island in the COG. If I remember rightly, the COG is a pretty difficult sail. But what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to turn off these lanterns because I'm going to spend the night in the tavern just to make sure everything's sorted with nutrition, scurvy, this, that, and the next thing. And I want to start anew. I'm just going to leave basically everything on board and buy everything that I need from the market here to sail across there. So we'll need, I've got a little shopping list to my right. We'll need a bucket, of course, water or beer, or water and beer rather, food, compass and spyglass. So I think we've got 2 compasses, so we'll take one of those. We've already got one. We've already got a spyglass in our inventory. So we'll do that. But first of all, I'm going to go and spend the night in here, and I'll be with you in the morning. So see you very shortly. Alright folks, so I'm not going to lie to you. This is take 2. What I've just done is I've purchased the COG, got everything on board I needed to get on board. I brought my crate of sunspot fish, a fishing rod, 2 barrels of honey beer, a bottle, a table, and some navigation utensils. And forgot to bring fishing hooks, so that was problem number 1. I'm like, right, okay, I'll survive on sunspot fish. There was some weird bug where by moving the crate from here to there, to the other boat, when I opened the crate there was no sunspot fish. I then sailed to what I thought was Eastwind in the dark, woke up very hungry in the middle of a storm and saw the green lighthouse of Bone Island. So we're going to try this again, and this time we're going to go and take some food and put it in our pocket. Think cheese is a reasonable shout. And I'm not going to use any crates or anything like that are on board on the sandbuck. We're going to buy the vessel, dump me cheese, and dump my compass. This is how we learn. We learn by failing. I'm also going to grab 1 fishing rod, 1 hook, and see, I think I'm going to buy fishing hooks actually. I don't want to take any crates from the sandbuck and put them onto the COG in case I experience that bug again. We also want a bucket specifically for the COG. And fishing hooks, can I pop that in here? Nope. Oh, don't want to open that yet. And what else? Let's get a nice new lantern, which we will pop in here. And I think that's all we'll need. And then from the trader, I'm going to get a crate of food and a couple of crates of beer. I tried to get water, but the trader doesn't sell water, so we're just going to get drunk the whole way. fishing hooks. I think we will fish from up here on the poop deck. What button did I push to? It's Q, right? I was pressing tab like an idiot. Drop our fishing hooks here. Let's get you hooked up in the centre with our fishing rod. Bucket we're going to pop down here like so. Lantern we're going to pop here. And what else did I grab? Right, so we need to go and get some crates of stuff. So I'm going to get 2 lots of beer. And what can I get a crate of that's food and not going to be like majorly expensive? Trout perhaps? Yeah, trout seems like a good shout. So I'm going to get these on board. I think I can eat these raw. Shove the trout up here. And go and get my beer. Because who needs water? We'll just get drunk the whole way. Although, in my experience now, this is such a hard boat to sail. I underestimated it. I mean, I can keep her centred, which I will show you. But that doesn't make her the easiest, especially when that storm hit. Oh my god, I basically just had to hoist all the sails and wait. But then of course we were starving. Yep. Just making sure there's actually hooks in there. Making sure there's actually trout in there. And let's go and see. I think I'd like a table. And I'd like a hook for the lantern. And I should maybe bring some oakum, but I don't think I'm going to bother with that. That's cheating. We don't need anything else from back here. We've already got a bed on board. I'm going to ditch these over here. Like so. And I wanted a hook for the lantern, didn't I? Let's take one of the ones from below deck. I do need to... I'm concerned that because we're bringing on water, I've damaged her some more. Yep, I have indeed. Let's use another. And we're going to take this with us. Already got a bucket. I'm going to ditch this bucket here. And take this hook. I think that's the wisest move. And then the rest, I'm going to fill my pockets with a few jugs of water. And I think I'm actually going to drink this one. There you go, you can have that back. I'm going to eat this bread. And we want everything full, and I'm going to take this last bit of cheese. And since we're going, well, hopefully, going to Eastwind, I'm going to... I don't know if I should take some trader missions. I think I'll just see if there's any... Like, even if it's just mail. Just something. Mail to Eastwind. What... yep, cool, 26 Asian crowns. I'm going to take that. Anything else to Eastwind? That appears to be it. Anything expensive we can take? Everything's going to be heavy. And I don't want heavy in that boat. Not at all. Oh, and I'll get the receipt as well. So we'll be mailmen. We're basically playing the start again. I'd like to dot that on top a bit nicer than that. Right, okay, so we want a hook. In fact, we'll deal with it. We'll deal with all that when we're underway, because we'll have plenty of time. Oh, and I would like a chip log actually. So let's drop our oakum here. And let's get the chip log. And I did say I wanted to bring the table, didn't I? So chip log, table, and I'm not going to bring the clock. We're going to just rely on the sun, like big boys. I did have the table there, but I put the lantern in the way. But I'm going to deal with all this nonsense when we're underway. So let's go. So in my experience, when I take the ropes out, she's going to start drifting backwards. So I'm actually just going to jump in the water and push her out. She's too much of an awkward boat to trust, I'm afraid. So we're going to push her out like so. And I probably should have made a save here, so I don't have to do all of that intro again. You might have noticed it was a wee bit rushed. But what's life without a little bit of drama? Right, let's get that bow turned round. Now, I ended up heading northwest, which was great, but then when it hit night time, I just kept going northwest and sleeping, and I think I just completely passed Eastwind. Eastwind is very, very hard to miss. Let's get the jib out. What side is it on? Right, let's see if I can pull that in, tighten it, and get a bit of forward momentum. Oh, and I was going to take a windlass, Oh, we've just smacked the boat already. What am I trying to say? A telltale. Let's push you, get you on the way. But we're not going to bother with telltale then. We're just going to rely on this lad up here. As much as I'm sad about that. And okay, right. She is moving ever so slightly forward with just a jib. So we'll let her do her thing. Let's do some interior design. I'd like the table in here. I'd like the chip log doing its thing. Look at that. Such speed. Going to pop my hook here with the lantern. And with just the jib, we do need to kind of lock the helm to the opposite side of the jib just to keep her going straight. I'm going to grab you and I want to pop that in the centre. So we're going to drop our water on the table. Have our ungodly pile of cheese. Spyglass in the right. Compass in the centre. Right. Now we're going to go to Eastwind. Now the sail direction of this boat is atrocious. Let's go and have a look. So she is moving, I mean she's kind of moving like that way. So I'll get away with about that, which is just shy of west, and I don't want to go northwest. I've made that mistake already. Oh, what's happened to her? It's like the wind changed there. And these sailing games and changing winds. I probably should have just let her actually. Let's see if I can pick up that momentum. Ease out, we'll see if we can catch her on the opposite side. Catch the wind, that is. We're crashing into something. Is there any land? Nope. We're not crashing into land. Right, then let's get you turned round. And if I can have her moving forward like this, I'm happy. I think at this rate, the squares aren't going to do me any good. But if it's not stormy, they might help us with a bit of speed. Because we're going, what is that, 4 knots? So let's see what happens. This might be counterproductive. And we also need to make sure she stays balanced. She is turning to port. So perhaps I need to lock slightly there. And we've gone up to 6 knots. So it looks horrendous. But I'll take that. And now we need to get to Eastwind with no drama. Not like I've just experienced. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a wee save here, just for safety. And I'm then going to head over to the interact. No, I'm not. We're going to be brave. Have I got saving on? Only on game quit. Perfect. We're going to be brave. We're going to try and get there. And what we'll do is next time I sleep, I will check the interactive map. And I think it might actually be worth sleeping as soon as possible. So we're going to have some water because we're saving the alcohol for the next part of the voyage. Oh yeah! We are very close. Oof! We might actually hit it with the stern now. Oh, that was cutting it fine, folks. So that's the direction. So the direction we're going in right now is the direction the east wind is in. And I seem to just sail past it. East wind is very hard to spot because there's no mountains. And most of the sail was at night time, so it was even more difficult to spot. But I'm certainly not seeing anything right now. So as I say, I will cross-reference with the interactive map. So I'm going to go to sleep as soon as possible. I just want to triple check she's holding course, and it looks like it. So yep, we're going to take the risk, folks. I'm going to go to sleep, but looking at the sun, I don't think we're going to have much light coverage when I wake up. So fingers and toes crossed we make it this time. How many days have we got to get there? 2 days. Right, folks, wish me luck. I'll see you shortly. Alrighty, we've woken up and this is already going so much better. I can see east wind over there. I think the issue last time is that I slept too late and it actually took forever getting out of Siren Song. So this is much better. Just going to double check. Still got fishing hooks. Still got food. I'm going to have some cheese first though, before I touch any of the trout. Because I think the trout will last longer. And I think since I can see Eastwatch, we're not going to touch the beer until we're going to Bone Island. So I immediately feel better. We appear to be at about halfway. I'm actually pretty terrible at triangulation in this archipelago, so as you can tell by the last episode, I don't know where's where. Oh! See, I like that. They've got a cog with a gaff sail. I think they've got the right idea. Instead of me cutting about with this awkward square here. But I think we're still going about 6 knots, which I'm happy with. I think we can get the lantern on now. Let me pick you up, have a wee peek. Yeah, flirting around 7 knots. Which I think is pretty decent in vanilla, unshipyarded COG. And we're heading in the perfect direction. We are not tired, we are not thirsty, and we are not hungry. But as I say, in my last attempt, I've basically sailed northwest the whole time, so I could try to get as much into the square sail as possible. And yeah, it basically ended up at Bone Island. I could see the green glow. And also, every time I slept, which just happened there, you know when you see the green loading bar for when you're sleeping, every time I slept, I heard a storm. So, either tonight, whilst I'm docking in Eastwind, or during the day tomorrow, or at night when I'm on my way to Bone Island, I'm going to hit a storm. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, I did say I was going to check the interactive map, but there's no point now that I can see Eastwind. Can you hear the relief in my voice? I was probably very rushed at the start of this episode, but that's because full-blown panic set in when I was in the storm in this boat. I fell in the water so many times, the boat was rocking about so much that I couldn't actually get back in. She's not damaged, which is good. I obviously damaged her coming out the port in the last attempt. But I'm happy. So the lesson is, sail in an awkward boat with some light coverage. I really wish I brought a telltale, because it's going to be very hard to see in the dark. I think we can tighten that up a bit. I can see the light of Eastwind though. So I'm going to just see if I can get away with a little bit of a turn to port. I think that'll do. What's that done for our speed? We're just hovering below 6. I'll take that as long as we're going in the right direction. So yeah, lessons learned. Sail under the cover of day, especially if you're going to a land that doesn't really have mountains, and a boat that you're not used to sailing. And double check crates if you're transferring crates from one boat to the other. And I have experienced that bug before, so I should have known better. But I feel way more confident and comfortable now. So we just need to trundle along to Eastwind. And then up to Bone Island, which is going to be a direct northwest sail, probably in a storm. But at least, as I say, we'll see the green glow. And we'll probably get to experience sailing to Bone Island properly this time. Because obviously in the last episode I just smashed clean into it. So I'll try to avoid that. I don't think we're nearly fast enough in this vessel. So what I'm going to do is light off. I'm going to wait until I get closer, and I'll be back with you for docking. So see you shortly. Alright folks, so as a result of the wind, it was easier to head round to the west side of Eastwind. So I'm just waiting for the right moment to attempt to tack this little boat. I did already, as the more astute of you may have noticed, I have made a tack already to head down here. So I'm just waiting to make my second tack. I stupidly made the first tack with the square sail open and pretty much came to a dead stop, which reminds me I do want to centralise that square actually, just for looks. Tighten up this sheet. I think that's good enough. And since I'm speaking to you now, we will get the light on, because YouTube don't like it. We're getting pretty sleepy, but we'll sleep at Eastwind. I think I can allow myself some cheese at least. And some swigs of water. Here we go. And now it's just a matter of tacking, and I think we're ready. If I could get this bottle of water down, let's just hold on to it. And let's go and get rid of this one. Cheerio. And I think we're good to go. So, turn, lock, completely let out the jib. Wait until she's turning in the right direction. I really hope I get this. I don't think we have. I think we have come to a dead stop. I think she'll make it, you know. I maybe let off the jib too quickly. I'm not too sure. Okay, let's tighten. See if we can catch that. See if we can get a little bit of forward momentum. Or have I just killed it? Yeah, that doesn't look good. That was not my best. And did I lock the helm? I did. So I've not even got that as an excuse. We are going backwards. So, not the best at tacking this boat. But there's nothing wrong with having to jump into the drink and sort out your dodgy tacking. I think, okay, there is a sandbank there, which we'll need to be wary of. But I'll just keep us heading in this direction for now, and I will keep my eyes peeled for it. Because I like the fact that we're actually going, well, I was going to say we've got some speed. We're going at 2 knots. A very respectable 2 knots. Eastwind, I'll be with you soon. I realised that this is obviously take 2 recording this episode, but I'm still full of panic from the last attempt. Also, I don't know if you can hear this, but we have a chirping Bonnie who has come to give me emotional support. Hey. She's not talking, she's curled up like a prawn, and I'm having to use my right hand now to scratch the forbidden belly. But she's okay, she doesn't attack. She just lets you know vocally when she's had enough, which I won't lie is never. Usually she'll get vocal when I stop. So we'll just take this moment to give the cat the love that she needs and deserves. But there we go, we're almost at Eastwind. I think I mentioned before that it reminds me of the towns in Sail the Seas, where it's just like one big dock and then a bunch of buildings facing the dock, and that's it. Got a little bit of flickering on the rock there. Oh, I think I'm actually going to have to tack twice to get past the sandbank. I didn't think about that. Hate's a strong word. I I'm having a tough time loving the COG. Although I think the sail configuration is the main issue. As I say, I'm jealous of that chap that we went past who had the gaff on their COG. Oh, sorry, Bonnie. I know I stopped clapping. I need my right hand to control the mouse, or we're going to beach. I mean, I could, although we can't really get away with beaching now that there's ship damage, isn't there? Because I could just beach and then swim across. But no, we'll do this properly. And by properly, I mean jump into the water. And just encourage the bow round. I didn't mean to tap the ladders there. There's a lot of crashing sounds you get with this boat when I'm not actually crashing into anything. Although we are pretty close to the sand. I just want to make sure we are rounding that. She's still moving forward, which is a good sign. I don't know if that's just because of my brute strength. We are going straight into the wind. So I'm going to have to do this a couple of times. I'm just going to have to accept that. Let's get around that way. Right, that's a bit more extreme. I think we can probably get away with catching a bit of wind now. It sounds like we've crashed, but it doesn't look like it. And there you go, folks. That is how the professionals tack the COG. So put that in your notebooks. If you're watching this from an educational point of view, that's how it's done. There's no other way of doing it. And we're going to have to do it again once we round this sandbank here. And then what I'll do is I'll spend the night in Eastwind again, just because my poor guy needs it. And I'm actually going to ditch all my utensils so I can stock up on some goodies for the voyage. Because it's not just going there, it's coming back as well. And I think we'll just need as much water. We've got a crate of trout with it, which I think we'll do. And we've got beer, which I think should be grand. I should have kept one bottle for beer. The bottle that I chucked overboard. Have we rounded? Yeah, I think that's good enough. Okay, folks, remember the notes? Let out the jib. Jump in the water. Tread the sea whilst punching the bow. Right at this angle here. And before you know it, you will have made a very professional tack in the COG towards Eastwind. You don't get that at any other channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Right, up we go. Yep, that'll do me. I can get home with that. Oh, we might be going too fast. Oh dear. I make myself laugh. Right. It's nice to feel a little bit of control in this boat for once. Right, docking the COG. That's as good as a turn as we're going to get. The wind is now behind us, so I think maybe we can just do without the jib and let out a tiny wee bit of square. I think that might be the smart way of doing it. I think that'll be enough. And then we'll just potter along. We're flying. We're almost at 6 knots in this thing. So see when you can get downwind in the COG, you're laughing. And actually I don't want the sail out anymore because we'll get there without it. I know, Bonnie, I'm sorry. I know. But this is a very important moment. This is where, yeah, this is where everything can go wrong. Right, almost there. Just start my final turn. Oh, it's a thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty. Are we going to get this perfect? I think we are. Excellent. Oh, straighten up that helm. Grab our bow line. Go and find the stern line. I was going to say I don't know where that is. And we have docked at Eastwind. Smash and pull the lines in. So I think it's obviously going to be best to just leave Eastwind with the square when we are ready to do so. Let's get this lantern off and deliver our mail. I think it was here, wasn't it? Yep. And there's no point taking anything because of course we're going to Bone Island. I'm getting deja vu. I hope to see if maybe the market was selling. Yeah, in fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend the night, get everything back up. Of course, as I say, I was going to buy some water. We'll just buy the whole lot. And I'll get the cheese in the morning whilst it's still fresh. So I'll be with you then. Good morning, sir. I've already got cheese. I'm going to take a loaf of bread. Let's go and dump all of our new gear on board. And I don't think we'll get any telltales here because I think it's just major ports we can get them. But at the very least we've got some water to help with the journey in case perhaps getting drunk isn't the best idea. I'm going to take the bucket and put it up here opposite side of the Oakham. But I'll have a wee look around anyway. We've got free inventory space for any more goodies. We've spent the night so we don't need to worry about scurvy, things like that. And nope, I think that's everything they've got for sale here. Right, let's just... We've got food, I've got trout that I've not even touched. We've got a fishing rod with fishing hooks, 2 barrels of beer. Can I get water here? If I can get water, I will be the happiest boy. I cannot get water. So it's just getting drunk. Basically, once we finish those... what am I trying to say? Once we finish off the beer. And that's okay. Has he restocked on water whilst I've been darting about? Yes, he has. So let's just empty his stock of water. And one last bit of cheese for good luck. Yep, I took that. And we need to make sure we pick the cheese that's indicating it's less fresh. Yeah, so we've got cheese and fresh cheese. So we'll eat the cheese first. But let's go. Onward to Bone Island for treasure. Square it. And then I need, because I'm perfectly in with the dock, I need to delicately make sure I don't love tap with the hull. And if I remember rightly, it's a beam reach from Eastwind to Bone Island. So of course we will have to set our sails accordingly. But I think that means we'll be able to let the jib out a wee bit. Let the wind get in behind. Oh, look at that. We're going to be there in 2 minutes. It's of course during the day. So I don't know if we'll see the lantern. But I feel like the amount of time it took us to sail here, it'll probably be closer tonight when we start getting close to Bone Island. I know, Bonnie. It's tough going. And because the boat is so light, I'm actually going to drop the water on this side. Because for some reason I'm panicking that I'm offsetting the balance. There we go, a perfectly balanced vessel. I'm going to pick you up. And we want to be going northwest, which is going to be a beam reach. We might get away with a bit of square. I'm certainly going to try it. Actually, I need to ease out in the sheets. Wait, that was way too heavy of a turn. Although it did get us directly northwest. So I'll just leave her like that for now. As we can see, the square is... It looks inefficient, but we're going close to 6 knots. Let's get the jib out and let that out a bit. So yeah, I think I'm happy with that. And I guess, oh, we're stuck in the stairs. The only thing we need to work out now is if she's balanced. Right, we want to turn northwest. And if we panic, we can always just anchor off and wait until dark, and we will see the lighthouse. Is she going to stick northwest? How does that look? That's a pretty good beam reach to me. Still sitting about 6 knots, so I've not made much of a difference with the square out. I wonder if, do we lose all that? Yeah, well, of course we're going to lose that speed if we pull the square in. So we're going to sail like this, and then of course we will beam reach back. But I think I'll probably skip most of the sail back in the COG. I won't make that part of the YouTube experience, because I'm going to have to take the COG all the way back to Siren Song and pick up the sandbuck with the treasure that we're going to find at Bone Island. So nothing left to do now but wait for the thirst to go down, and you guessed it, we're going to get drunk. We're a little bit hungry, but I don't think we're hungry enough for cheese. I just don't want the cheese to go rotten and it go to waste, so I think I'll just have it. We've got a full crate of trout, we should be alright, and as I say, we've got the fishing line. So I'm going to take the cheese that's no longer fresh cheese, pop that in there, and I might just carry the water. There we go, 3 on each side, I'm happy with that. Oh wait, it doesn't matter, 1 bottle of water is not going to make a difference. Actually, we need the spyglass, so I'm going to move the cheese to here. Spyglass, pop that where I like to put it. And we're going to look northwest, because remember with the sandbuck, I barely left Eastwind before I could see land, and I can just see it. You're never going to see that on YouTube. I was actually about to point at the screen there as if you're going to see it, but I can see land, so I'm quite happy. And as I say, this time we are not crashing into anything. I do actually need to finish off this bottle of water so I don't waste the water that's in it before I drink beer. But let's fill it with some beer. And then we'll leave our beer on the table. And I'm being very aware of the fact that, as I say, in the first attempt, I did hit a storm eventually. So I know I might have jinxed it by saying it, but I am conscious of the fact that we may hit one on this leg of the journey. Which of course just makes things all the more exciting. I think what I might do as a wee test is just do a micro sleep and just see if she holds course, because I don't think we'll travel much difference as we micro sleep, and it's early morning, so it's not like we're going to lose daylight. So I'll be back with you once I have micro slept. Alright folks, micro sleep complete. Eastwind is here. Fay Valley is somewhere in this cluster. I think it's this one, because I'm sure we went past this tall rock here, so I think that's Fay Valley. Sorry, Siren Song. This must be Fay Valley. And then you've got like... Is that Mount Maleficent? Is it? I can't remember what it's called. I don't have the map with me either. And then let's try and get a good angle. I'm hoping that... Right, so you should be able to see that on YouTube now. So you can see the land, and then just above where my cursor is, you can see the green glow of Bone Island. So that's promising. So we're going to slowly start to get drunk. And once our energy level goes down just a wee touch more, we'll do another micro sleep. It is turning into the end of the day. Well, it's past noon, so we will be getting there in the dark, I presume before morning. So we'll get to experience the lantern in all its glory. The old Halloween lantern of Bone Island. Then of course we won't be doing as much exploration in this episode, because I've done that in the last episode. So we're just there for the treasure, pick it up, take the treasure back to our sandbuck, and then I need to decide what I want to do. if I want to go to Fay Valley, or if I want to do the whole round trip of picking up lanterns and what else? Picking up lanterns and the golden mug. And someone else said there's also something at Sunspire I need to pick up as well, which I will check right now. I believe that was a message on Discord. So if you don't mind me being rude and looking at my phone. Yes, it was the level 3 spyglass in Sunspire. So just to add to the shopping list there. So treasure, lanterns, golden mug, level 3 spyglass. Because imagine being able to see the lantern of Bone Island with a level 3 spyglass. And also the spooky guy that was inside the lighthouse. I think we can get more drunk than that. It's fine. We've got 2 barrels and we've got quite a few bottles. Is our cheese gone off yet? Nope. Let's have that. And I can't remember if I've got better fishing on or off. I don't think I've got it installed anymore. I think that was one of the ones I removed just when I was doing my mod testing after the update. So we'll have to fish normally, which is a nice wee change. The last game I've done fishing in, because I've not actually fished in Sailwind in a long time, was Red Dead Redemption 2. And some of you might hate me for saying this, but I really don't like the fishing in that game. I'm also not a big fan of the hunting, or a big fan of the riding around on a horse. So you might ask yourself, well, what do you like from the game? I like being a super cool cowboy who shoots. And that's about it. And also the story is pretty good. So I was enjoying that. But as I say, I just got tired of riding around all the time. I got about 50 hours into the game and have to take a wee break. And then now, of course, as I mentioned in the last episode, Bannerlord 2 has taken over my life. I don't want to lose this fish. But I'm recording this actually the day after I recorded the last episode. This will be coming out probably next week, because I don't want to get in the habit of releasing too quickly again. But this Sunday and Monday I have off, and I've set those both aside. We've lost that hook. Set those both aside so that I could play some more sailing games, so I will get properly back into following seas, etc, etc. How's the wind direction looking? It's actually behind us, so I think I can pull us in a wee touch. That's because we've drifted north. So I'm happy with this. We're now heading in the right direction. And I think this might be an opportunity to do another little micro sleep. Although in turning, I seem to have put her off balance a wee bit. So we'll just make sure she's holding northwest. I keep forgetting this isn't the sandbuck. You can't just let go of the helm and she just sails there herself. You've got to pay a bit more attention. It does make me miss the early game of Sailwind, where it's less about the sail configuration and more to do with sailing with what you're given. But that's why we make the big bucks. That's why we play the game into the middle and late game. Which this is, of course, this saves as far as I've ever been. I like to explore everything on camera for the first time. I've got a funny feeling after this little micro sleep it's going to be dusk, and if not later. So we'll find out in a wee second. See you then, folks. Alright, we have woken up and it is indeed dusk. The wind direction looks to be much the same. And we are quite a bit closer to Bone Island. The lighthouse still hasn't loaded, but the lantern certainly has. Let's have our trout. And I don't know if it's worth getting drunk anymore. I think I'll turn on our lantern. For all you YouTubey folks that don't like to be watching the dark, because that's not very interesting. I wish I'd brought a knife to chop up the bread. I'm addicted to chopping this. So I don't know if it's worth just sailing along until we get there. No crow's nest, but I really am enjoying this. Does the brig have one of these? Do let me know. But yeah, we'll just sail along until we get closer and closer, and not crashing into the beach this time. Well, it wasn't even the beach, it was a structure at the side. Yeah, let's have some beer. Empty bottle. We'll go and take from the opposite end. Here. Not too much, just a few swigs. Just to take the edge off, you know. Looking at about 5.5 knots. Which I'm alright with. It is falling into officially night time now. Still no lighthouse loading in. But I think we'll get there probably before I have the next sleep. Although I am tempted to just have a teeny tiny micro one again. I think I'm just addicted to it. But what I'll do is, when I go and get the treasure, of which I have had spoiled, I know where it is. When I go and get the treasure, I'll make sure I do it during the day. But for those of you who watched the last episode and who haven't been here, I'm going to say now where the treasure is. So I would maybe skip. In fact, no, you're going to watch the episode, so I'm just going to say it now. In the stone circle that I found is apparently in the centre, which would make sense because I think the big hand that we found was pointing towards the stone circle. So that would suggest go that way. I thought it was pointing to the lighthouse. And I think I should have just looked harder, because I was looking around the stone circle thinking, well, there's nothing here. And I thought because one of the stones was shaped like a tombstone, I thought, like, is that why they call it Bone Island? So yeah. Costas, who I've mentioned in this channel a few times, who's the one that actually made me aware of the golden mug that I forgot, was the one to let me know about that, and also sent me a link to the Discord where they actually decided on naming the island Bone Island. So that was pretty cool. I didn't realise that the island existed before it had a name. I think it was just called Secret Island 2 or something at the time. Excuse me, just needed a wee drink there. Yeah, I'm going to sleep off this little touch. I feel like we're going to crash, but well, it's just in theme. We have Oakham, so be with you shortly. Alright, so we've covered what feels like hardly any distance, but we can... I don't know if YouTube compression will show you, but the lighthouse has officially loaded. So we can see the lighthouse now, so we must be pretty close. Well, at least with the spyglass fully zoomed in. So no more beer for now. We are thirsty, so I'll have some water. And pop that here since it's an open bottle. We're not really hungry. The cheese is still fresh, the bread is still fresh, and we've still got a full crate of trout, so we don't need to worry about that. My main concern is not beaching. And I feel like I can maybe make out a beach there. So I'm thinking, is it time... Yeah, I think it might be time to take the square in and then go at more of a close haul. And then I'll just anchor off fairly close to the island, but not too close, because as I say, we want to avoid crashing. How's that? That's too much. I'm trying to do things without looking. I'm trying to be conscious of not going to the... Oh, we're actually a lot closer than I thought. Look. Okay. So let's worry about all of our sheet nonsense later on. Let's turn ourselves round to a bit of a close halt and see how that has us pointing. We will need to pull in the jib, of course on the lee side, because I do learn my lessons eventually. And we're approaching properly to Bone Island. So this is the experience we should have had in the last episode. It does fill you with a real sense of achievement, this game, when you can get to somewhere like this in a boat like this. I dread the thought of sailing this boat to Oasis. I think I might want to tack, head in this direction and then turn in though. How's the sail direction looking? We've turned round to beam reach. I forget that we need to balance the boat when we're just on the jib. But I don't think a close haul is going to be enough. So we'll do our fancy amazing tack. I think we might just turn into the wind and come to a dead stop again, but that's okay. I'll give her a little push of encouragement. I don't think that's enough to catch the wind on the port side, is it? Nah, not at all. Not at all. So we'll just go and give her a wee love tap. I feel like I've spent most of this episode in the water. Is she moving forward? Yes. That's promising. We can stop our turn. Look up. I can't really see the wind direction, but it's certainly... Oh, that would explain the noise. We're certainly moving forward. Which means our lee is to our port. And then we'll just trundle along. There's the beach there. And we'll do the tack again in a wee second. If the wind's heading in that direction, we want to tack when the beach is basically where my cursor is. So we've got a wee bit to go first of all, but I think we can close haul a wee bit better than that. Again, I just said I need to remember that this boat is out of balance when we're just the jib. So turn around, lock the helm about 30 degrees away from centre. I really should have brought a telltale. And I think we can get away with our final tack. If you can call it a tack. I think when we're tacking we should hold on to the jib a wee bit longer and not loosen too quickly. Do let me know what I'm doing wrong here, because surely you must be able to tack the boat without jumping in the water. Or maybe you're supposed to just tack and then wait and then hope. But I am far too impatient for that kind of business. We need to stop our turn now. Like so. And see if we can catch the wind with lee on our starboard. And that looks good to me. Right, now we're just onward to Bone Island. Final tack of this leg of the journey. How are we looking? Respectable 2 to 3. I'll take that. Think I'm hungry enough to have this bit of cheese. And a few swigs of water. 2 will do the business. And actually, I don't think I'm going to be too precious about doing this during the day. We've seen the island during the day. I'm here for one reason and one reason only. And that be treasure. But we're going in very nicely. I've got her balanced, holding in a straight line. Dead ahead is Bone Island at night in all her glory. So I'll just think about anchoring off soon. But obviously I don't fancy swimming too far. It's not sail swim. But yes, I'm very much liking the look of that. So this, I can't remember if it was this, I think it was this rock here that I smashed into with the sandbuck and caused enough damage to use, well, I think it was like a whole entire barrel of oakum. So of course we need to get to Eastwind. Oh, and I remember at the very start of the episode I kept saying Astra Chapel. It's Astra Abbey, of course. Right, let's get the jib in. I'm happy to swim from here if you folks are. And let's turn her around into the wind so she comes to a stop. I don't think this counts as a heave to. I think you need the jib out to heave to. But either way, we're stopping the boat. Let the anchor down. It's a bit more of a swim than I thought it was going to be actually, but we've committed. There's the sound of the anchor dragging. We always take a bottle of water when we're doing an excursion and a lantern. And I don't know if the treasure is going to be in a crate or something we can put in our inventory. But either way, we've got a space available and we've got free hands and we've got our lantern on. So Bone Island, I didn't think I was going to see you so soon, but here we are. Up the hill we go. Now we need to find the stone circle. There we go, that was easy. And somewhere in the centre, look, there we go. Silver! 1 crate of silver. Well, I'm sure that's going to be worth it. It's free. Bone Island, thanks again. You've been stressful, yet again. But let's go and get our Long John Silver onto our COG. And then turn for homeward. I don't care if we go to Eastwind again. I don't care where we go. As long as we hit land. And then can head on to Siren Song from there. For our lovely, lovely sandbuck. The COG, I'm not finished with you yet. You've got one more big voyage in you, I hope. I just hope the silver is not going to be too heavy. Pop it midships there. See if we get on with that. I might want to take it back a little bit. Just so we're not too bow heavy. Anchor in. Nice. Get her turned round so she's facing, well, it'll be southeast, won't it, if we were going northwest. So we just need to turn a wee bit more. I think this was the issue. I think I went in the complete wrong direction at the end of the last episode. How's the wind looking? Yep, I think we'll get away with... Oh, that needs to be loosened. And then tightened here. And we come. Getting nice and tight, I love it. Okie dokie. Cheerio, Bone Island, you were good. Now we are south-eastward bound home. Are we going to get away with the square? Yeah, I think we are. Let's have some fun. Release. Release. And square out. And I'm going to pop the lantern back where she belongs. Make sure we're straight and go for a danger nap. And then hopefully by that point it'll be daytime. I can pick what land I want to go to. And then it's just smooth sailing from there. Hopefully, literally. I really don't want to say it out loud, but I'm going to have to because I commentate on a YouTube channel. I do not want to hit a storm, but I think we possibly might. I think I'm just going to polish off this water for now. Turn off the light. And go to sleep. So I'll see you when I wake up. Alright, good morning. We've woken up. It's a beautiful day. There's Bone Island off behind us. And ahead of us is the Eastwind Archipelago. I believe this is Siren Song, so this is where we want to be going. I will then check the ledger to find out where we're going to fetch a good price for silver. But Costas, thank you very kindly for letting me know about the fact that I'd left some treasure. I appreciate that because I would never have lived it down if I didn't know that sooner and then went around probably to another archipelago. So your efforts and information is always much appreciated. But on that note, folks, now that everything's all positive and happy again, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to sail back off camera, and I will be back with you. Well, I want a good photo. I want a nice screenshot of this cog. But yeah, I'm going to leave you now, folks. As I say, I'll be back with you at Siren Song to pick up the sandbuck, and then we will continue on as normal. So thank you very much, as always, for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Cheerio.